Golden Retriever Rescue of North Texas was founded in 1996 with a mission to rescue, care for, and place in permanent loving homes Golden Retrievers in need in the North Texas area, and to educate the general public about the special qualities of the Golden Retriever breed and responsible pet ownership. Since its inception in 1996, the organization has helped over 3,000 Goldens in need, and yet the need continues to grow. More than 90% of their total budget goes directly to the dogs for veterinary expenses. The hard work and countless hours contributed by over 100 members and volunteers enable the growing success Golden Retriever Rescue of North Texas has experienced since 1996. The organization is an all-volunteer rescue with no paid employees. All of their dogs are placed in loving, volunteer foster homes until the dogs are adopted. Many of these dogs have been abused, abandoned, or neglected, but our foster families provide their foster dog with quality nutrition, basic training, toys, a safe home environment, and, most of all, love. The love they provide is a large part of the therapy the dog needs in order to adapt successfully to his or her new forever home. At Golden Retriever Rescue of North Texas, every dog has value. Every dog deserves a good forever home. Every dog deserves love. But where do they come from? Intake Coordinator Kim Bowling explains.
We get dogs from three main areas. We get them from owner surrender situations, we get them from strays, and we get them from shelters. We never deny a dog because of medical issues. If there's a medical issue that needs to be addressed, we always take in dogs, even if it's a major medical issue. We've had dogs that have had mega esophagus. We've sent them to A&M for the surgical procedure to have that reversed so that he could live a life as a normal dog. We take in heartworm positive dogs all the time. We take in dogs that have to have hip replacement surgeries and that sort of thing. The standard for the dogs that we get taken in, though, we take them in, every dog goes in for an evaluation, every dog goes in for a deworming process, every dog goes in for blood work, just so that we can make sure, even if it's a young dog, we want to make sure that all the internal organs are working fine. Everything's up for the dog to be ready to be adopted. We do not adopt any dogs out, however, until they've been sterilized. We do sometimes do what's called a foster to adopt, where the adoptive family will go ahead and take the dog. We still pay for the medical treatment covering that dog until they are medically cleared to go ahead and be adopted. And that's, some people want the dog in their home, they want to start that bond with the dog, so they'll go ahead and foster to adopt the dog through heartworm treatment. They'll take care of it. We still pay for the medical bills for the dogs, but that way they get that bonding time. The dog is in their house, and they can start living the life as a family, and the dog also gets a home where they're going to be settled in and hopefully carry out as their forever home. And we do cover all the medical expenses on the dogs that come into or find their way into our rescue. Average expenses, medical expenses on a dog is about $952 per dog. We do have very few that come in that have been caught up on their vaccinations. Even people that are owner surrenders that know they're going to give their dog up, they may not go the extra mile and get their dogs vaccinated and up to date and current on everything before they go ahead and release them to rescue. Every once in a while you'll get maybe a $20 or $25 donation on owner surrenders, but that doesn't even cover the cost of one vaccination.
Every dog who comes into the rescue is given a thorough veterinary exam, is spayed or neutered, microchipped, and is tested for heartworm, parasites, skin issues, ear infections, and placed on the medications necessary to restore them to maximum health. Dr. Jennifer Hoke explains the medical review each dog receives on intake.
Whenever we get one of these dogs that comes in, we get an alert from our front office that says we've got a GER dog. That's what we refer to the Golden Retriever Rescue of North Texas dogs. They come in, we kind of evaluate them mentally at first to see if they're ready to start out with a exam. And sometimes they need a little bit of time to kind of sit and settle and have somebody pet on them, love on them, get them comfortable with where they're at. And then once we get them out, we start basically a nose-to-tail exam. We're looking for a lot of different things. We're checking their teeth for dental disease, their ears for bacterial infections, and I would say probably 90% of the Goldens we get in do have bacterial infections in their ears, so that's something that we want to treat and get them over. We check their skin. We're looking for signs of mites or infection, allergies, ticks, fleas, that sort of thing. A fair number of them also have that problem. Musculoskeletal system, a lot of our older dogs have problems with arthritis, and we want to make sure that that's something that may need future chronic care to take care of any pain issues they may have. Ones that are not neutered or spayed, that is a surgery that we will get to after we've done some blood work, and blood work is an important part of our testing too. We want to check for heartworms, which is very common, especially in this area of the United States. Texas has a lot of heartworm disease. 75 to 80% of the dogs that I see here have heartworm disease. Whenever we discover that, they get some x-rays to check out their chest, see how large their heart is, and how their lungs are doing. That'll help us guide our treatment protocol after that.
The Goldens taken in stay in a foster home, and the need for additional foster homes in the area is great. Pat Millfield explains the role of the foster home and why it is so important in preparing the Golden for their new forever home.
Our greatest need is fosters. Without fosters, we have no place to put the incoming dogs. We never have enough fosters. If the idea even slightly appeals to you, and it is a very rewarding thing to do, to help save a dog and place them in a forever home, you can go to our website and fill out a foster application. I guarantee you it will be the most rewarding thing you do. Fostering involves taking in a Golden that has already been through the vet clearance, not necessarily meaning that they don't have more procedures to go through, but once they are out of the vet clinic, they stay with a foster at their own expense, feeds them, and takes care of them like their own dog. What also is involved is getting to know the dog, getting to know whether the dog needs to be with other dogs or not with other dogs, with children, or with a single adult person. They are also encouraged to help with the training, that is leash walking, good manners, no counter surfing, everything that a person looking for a dog to adopt would like to see that dog have those good manners. The foster tries to understand if the dog has any behavioral issues that we need to address. It's all about matching dogs up with people. And it's really, oftentimes it's a fine art. There is a lot of instinct that goes into deciding what dog goes with what person. And I like to think that the dog will tell you. If you listen to the dog, they will tell you, yes, this is my person. And you go with that.
When the dogs are ready for adoption and that new forever home, they are introduced to the public at a meet and greet event held around the North Texas area twice monthly. For those wishing to adopt a Golden and have already submitted an application, the meet and greets are the first opportunity to meet the dogs and get to know them and see if there is a connection that could develop. Adoption coordinator Beth Huntington talks about the importance of the meet and greets.
After the meet and greet, applicants do not take the dog home that they are interested in adopting. What happens is that the foster will consider all of the applicant families that have expressed interest in their particular foster dog. Very often, and especially with the younger dogs, there'll be more than one family wanting to adopt that dog. So the process after the meet and greet may take as long as a week or more for the foster to review the applications, follow up with each applicant that's expressed interest with a phone call, schedule a home visit, and it's the home visit typically that helps the foster decide which home she will choose to place her dog. What the foster is looking at in the home visit is how the dog interacts with the family, how the dog interacts with other pets that may be in the household, how the other pets in the household interact with the dog. And very often it's a hard choice for the foster to decide among more than one applicant that may be a really good match. So we try to help people understand that it's a process, it takes time. The foster has the decision-making responsibility for choosing which family the dog will be placed with. And if a family doesn't get selected the first time, we recommend they continue to come to the meet and greets. They will be considered fairly, and the more often you come, you kind of move up the pecking order, and in fact you get a priority spot if you don't get selected the first or second time that you're applying for a specific dog.
For the rescue organization, it's far more important to find the right forever home and not simply any home. The organization is fortunate to have retail business partners who host the meet and greets, where applicants and the public can meet and socialize with dogs awaiting adoption. This event was hosted by the great folks at Hollywood Feed, who host events at their Colleyville and Fort Worth store locations. Other hosts of the meet and greets include Three Dog Bakery in Plano, Bass Pro Shops in Grapevine, Wolf, Cool Stuff for Dogs in Plano, and City Vet in Dallas. Volunteers and financial support are the lifeblood of any charitable organization. Everyone at Golden Retriever Rescue of North Texas is an unpaid volunteer. Tasks and support functions are many, and President John Hovland explains how people can get involved.
There's so many ways in this organization that you can volunteer and help. You can foster, you can do babysitting or pet sitting, we call it. I don't know why I call it babysitting. They are our babies. And you do that. But there's so much that goes into the administration and the operation of the thing that's behind the scenes that you just don't really see. This event we're at today, it's called a meet and greet, and we have to have somebody that organizes that, because our organization gets us so we can have these facilities to go to. The purpose of the meet and greet is for the potential adopters to come, meet the dogs, meet the fosters, find out something about the dogs, and make sure that there's a compatibility between them and the dog, so that it's a successful adoption. And so with we have volunteers that help us schedule Beth to make sure she stays on schedule, gets through all the people that need to be gone through in a 2-hour period we're here. We have intake people. We have specialists that do the intakes, and that's a really difficult job, because you see the dogs at their worst in many cases. Rescue is not necessarily for the weak at heart sometimes. You just want to know about the organization. We have that is voicemail line that we have volunteers on that all the time, and we commit to getting back to everybody who calls us. So we get back to quicker if we've got a dog that's in dire straits, a dog that's in jeopardy. We'll make sure we get to that one quicker. But it takes people to man those 24 hours a day, and we have people who do outreach for fundraising. We have event coordinators. We have all these sorts of things that take people to do. And it's all volunteer. We don't have a single paid staff member. And so it just takes a lot to run this thing. What you see on the surface is nothing compared to what's going on behind. Without volunteers, the organization doesn't run. The organization isn't successful. It takes a lot of people to keep this thing going. and it's our volunteers that are the lifeblood of that. Anybody who handles dogs, likes dogs, get a hold of us. We'll take you in and let you help us.
For even a single rescue and adoption to occur, it takes an entire community of volunteers to make it happen for our Goldens. Your generous support on North Texas Giving Day will enable Golden Retriever Rescue of North Texas to continue to help and rehome golden retrievers in need. Every dog deserves a forever home. Every dog deserves love. Please support us with your generous donation